What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. And is the next gen a complete flop, or is it a massive success? And you might say, wait, what? Massive success? Well, from the club's perspective, they might view this project as a massive success. And I will explain why and why I'm bringing up these topics, because Nico Savona could be on his way out. The reports are saying that there is interest from the Premier League clubs who are preparing a bid. And the big news is that the club, despite handing him a new contract until 2030, are willing to let him leave to cash in. And that's important to remember, cash in for the entire video and move on from Savona already this summer. You know, we sold a lot, only a few to say one is surviving in the first team. So is it a flop, or is it going the way the club wants it to go? That is important. Before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but especially hit that like button, because that's the most important thing on this channel. If you hit that like button, and yeah, let's dive into the topic. Is it a failure, or is it a massive success for the club? Okay, so the news is the news. Nicola Savona could be out of his way, out of the club, and I think everybody saw that report. So that's a bit irrelevant for now. The point is it a success or not? Because as a fan base, you're looking at it and you're like, only Yildiz is surviving at this point. All the other players are gone. All of them are gone. And they all came through with big hopes and a big, you remember that presser with Miretti and Sule and Fagioli, and was like, wow, you know, and the pictures on the wall, and the kids can walk through it from the academy and see, man, you can make it to the first team. And then the first moment, bam, sold. We made, if you sell Savona, we made over 200 million euros selling next gen players. Players you know, players you might not know, you know, in between the lines, whatever. Over 200 million. For the club, I will say you that. For the club, they're looking at that figure. They're like, it's a massive success, because at max, you paid 10 to 20 million, and I'm exaggerating. It's not even that. For, let's say, 10 to 50 million you paid to bring in these players, all of them, and you're selling them for a total of 200 million. The club is looking at that being like, that's a massive success, man. That's just a cash cow. And maybe for the club, this is a cash cow. We also need to be realistic. Not every player is going to make it to the first team. The only club who has done that to an insane level was Man U back in the days, where it's like the entire academy basically at one point was unreal for Man U. It doesn't happen that often, you know, so nobody was expecting that. So from that standpoint, you can say it's actually success, because for the club, the most important thing is, well, develop them. If they're good enough, they can stay. But if not, we need to make money off them. And they are making money. Now comes the big but. That sounds weird, but 200 million sounds like a lot of money. But when you deep it, have we improved with that money? Not really. Ever since the next gen, like, not really. It's not that we're in a better position. Well, have the next gen players improved us? Well, Yildiz has improved us, but all the rest is gone. Huijsen is gone. Sule is gone. Miretti is gone. Fagioli is gone. Savona, my Junior is gone. Parincea is gone. Like, they haven't really improved us on the field. So at that point, as a fan base, you're like, that's odd. What makes it worse is that Mbangula, forgot about him. You're looking at the sales and you're like, we sold for peanuts. We sold on the cheap because of the way we operated, the way we developed them maybe, and the prices we demand. And to make matters worse, you're looking at Huijsen. He went to Real Madrid the following season for 4 times the money we sold him. And he looks fantastic. And to make it worse, we have massive problems at the back where you're like, that's a ridiculous call for the quick cash grab. That doesn't sound right. Even if the project is generate funds, all cool. But when you look at the situation, like, we didn't generate enough because we're in a bad position. We were in a better position if we kept Huijsen and we didn't spend 20 for Kelly, and we need to spend more money to fix those issues because the issues are glaring obvious. You buy Cabal and all these players. Like, that is a problem. That's one part of it. The second part of it is, like I said, players are going and they're doing Sule. You paid a lot of money for Conceição right now. Was that needed when you had Sule and you see the way he's playing at Roma when he gets continuity, second part of the season when he was just playing nonstop? You see Sule play, you're like, yeah, different players, type of players, but did we need to spend 30, 40 million, more than 40 million for Conceição when you have a player like Sule in the team? That doesn't sound like good business, in my opinion, unless you sold Sule and you brought in a world-class player, which Conceição is not, despite what Komoli is saying, it's not world-class, then was that really a win for us? Yeah, on the books it's a win, but now you're spending more on Conceição and more on wages and all those things. Like at what point as a club are you looking at the cash cow of the next gen and you're like, actually we had some good players and we made massive mistakes. Miretti, for example, right now, is it worth to just accept a quick cash from Napoli whilst investing in players you're overpaying that are asking for a lot of money for a McKennie, or spend on Douglas Luiz the coach doesn't want? Like all these things, how is that making sense when you should be giving other players a chance? Adzic, not the next gen, but they will view it as a next gen project because he played for the next gen and they pay 5 million euros, maybe one of the most expensive next gen players, but still they will view it like that. If you flip him right now or you loan him out and next season you flip it for 10 million, is that really worth it when in the following season he could potentially be much more worth than what you sold him? And in the meantime, you spent money on a player you paid 30, 40, 50 million on wages 5 times the Adzic wage, for example, right now. Those things are very important at the end of the day. So is it a failure for the club? No, they generated plus 200 million. They are not looking at it as a failure. They will look at potentially Huijsen as a failure. They missed the boat. They got that completely wrong. But in entirety, they will look at that thing and they're like, that's how it should be working for them. Generate the money, and if a player makes it, fantastic. If not, make us money basically so we can reinvest that. That's where the fans come in. We're like, you reinvested that money poorly, really poorly, and it makes it worse when the players you moved on, or some of them, are looking to be unreal. Huijsen, for example, and I think Sule is on the path to be very, very good as well. Is that worth it? Was that worth it? That's the question the club should be asking themselves right now. Yes, the money, but at what point as a club are you looking at the entirety, the big picture, like, we need to be more careful. We need to think these things over a bit more before we actually, pull the trigger and be like, yeah, you can go quick cash grab, quick plusvalenza can help us right now to buy a player, but then again 2 seasons from now or season after that, that player we need to move out. Actually, we failed. How many times are going to do that before you're like, okay, there needs to be a system right here, and we need to give these players a fair shot, and with a fair shot, I mean in a good environment, in a healthy environment, and that goes also from the top as well. So is it a failure? The club will not view it as a failure. As a fan base, well, recently we will view it as a failure, because we're looking at the Sule one. I'll say the Huijsen one, and I'm like, weird. And the money we sold in Bangula, and you see other players go, I'm like, strange, like that's a bit too low. Only Yildiz is making it. And maybe you can say, well, Yildiz is unreal, but Huijsen was that as well. And Sule had those glimpses of, well, did we let go of them way too soon? And why? Was that really for that 50 million? Was that really worth it at the time, rather than just believing in these players and giving it a shot? Because we would have done the same with Huijsen in that team, with Kelly. Actually, we might have done better. We would have done the same with Sule, in my opinion, than with Conceição, in my opinion, if you gave him a fair shot week in, week out. Because it's not that Conceição was good week in, week out. Absolutely not. He was good a week, bad 2 games. Good again, bad. Good again. It felt like we had a youngster learning, and he had good moments and he had very bad moments. Was that all worth it? That's where the club should need to step in and rethink the way they actually view the entire Next Gen project. But you guys in the comments, let me know, is it a failure? Is it a massive success? Do you think the club believes it's a massive success? Or are we fans way too over the top when it comes to the Next Gen and the moves we make with it? Let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later tonight. Ciao.